What is going on? Let's see. It's a new week. Happy Monday. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I got to go check out some Lunar New Year's celebration and a little bit of a presentation on lion dancing this last weekend at the uh, I forget the name, but a Chinese garden here in Portland, which was beautiful and fun and really cool. I had a blast. Put some pictures in my tweets about it if you're interested. But that's not what we're here for today. Today we are here to look at web dev office hours. And I think the last project that we worked on was a pretty cool Wordle clone that we built with Remix Run, which was fun and interesting and had some cool challenges. I think we're going to move on to the next project. So, one thing that I am very interested in is I've been dealing with living in the Pacific Northwest for a while, where we get a lot of different types of weather. So, kind of a big part of my life is checking my weather app, making sure that I don't know, the weekend plans are going to make sense or what I should wear before I go out. And one of the problems I have is uh, there's so many weather apps that are just so unreliable. So let's see. I want to do some stuff, share my screen. Well, I won't go into showing the weather apps, but so many of them, they're not that they're unreliable, but don't they don't work fast enough for me. So I'll pull it up on my phone, and there's just like so many ads, and it makes the experience all really slow. So I think what I wanted to build was something with openweathermap.org. I was thinking it'd be cool to have like a website that we can go to that just checks our location. No, I don't want you to show my location. But we basically what I just am showing right now. Oh, they have a mobile app. That might be cool. Let's see. What's this look like? Pretty decently rated. Looks like it's got some cool stuff, but we're going to build our own. So, yeah, something that checks our current location and then shows us the weather for it. And I did some looking around on different weather APIs, and this one looks pretty reasonable. So, um, yeah, let's build something cool with it. How am I going to get started? I think for now, I might start with, let's see. What do we got? I want to close that. I got a little project I was working on I'm going to get out of. Yeah, let's see. Say okay, so we're going to get started here. I've got this little folder that I'm in. There's nothing in it. So right now we're going to open up VS Code and bring that over. And I think well, there's so far nothing in there. So let's bump this size. Oh, that might be, whoa, that's way too big. Let's bump that down. And well, we'll start with, I think we'll initialize an NPM project. So let's do init y, and that's just going to initialize a project called weather app. I think I'm probably also going to git init this project. Cool. And looks like we've got some, it's telling me that git is not initialized. I wonder if I refresh that somehow, It should be, right? Yeah, it's initialized. VS Code's just being a little bit slow. Well, no worries. Okay, so what am I going to need to build this app? Well, I think I kind of want to deploy it to Akamai EdgeWorkers. By the time that we're done with it, because what I'm thinking is with EdgeWorkers, that is a JavaScript server side runtime that runs as close to the user as possible. So it's going to make for faster performance because if a user is in Japan and I have well, I guess in this case, that's going to be our server anyway. So if a user's in Japan, they'll go to, let's say, the Edge server that's running in Tokyo. And for a user that's in Brazil, they might go to an Edge server that's running in Sao Paulo. So um, it's these server side environments that can do uh, some sort of logic. So we're going to build it or we're going to deploy it there. But in the meantime, I don't really want to be like pushing up a bunch of changes to test it. So maybe we'll build a server that kind of looks like edge servers in the background. So what are we going to build that with? I really like using Fastify. So we'll start with Fastify and let's see. We've got that. I know I'm going to need like a server.js file. I also know I'm going to need uh, a main.js file. Okay. And that's because the way that edge workers work is they look for like this main JavaScript file. So let's see. What do we have? I guess first we'll start with just like a little getting it to do like the hello world, right? So for that to work, I think with the edge worker stuff, let's do export. Well, let's get the server. Let's get the server up and running first, right? Is anyone talking to me? No one's talking to me. Okay, that's all right. We're gonna keep doing. There's some dude walking across the street, which probably it looked more interesting than it probably sounds. You just listening to me say that. Cool. So let's get this thing working. How is my server going to work? Well, I guess first things first is we can import um, I gotta look at the Fastify documentation. Well, we may actually not need Fastify to begin with. So let's start with just a node server. So let's keep this a little bit more streamlined. So import HTTP from node HTTP. Okay. And then let's say const app is going to equal, it should be http.create server. Yeah, request response, hello world, and then we're going to say app dot listen. That's a weird port. Let's listen at 3000, and then well, I mean, what's it called? Um, GitHub Copilot really makes writing my apps super easy. So, okay, we're supposed to be running at localhost 3000, right? But that's 30,000. And I think if I did this right, she doesn't look. Oh, that's right. Duh, I need to start my server. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is go to package JSON, and we're going to say our dev. And to start this, we're going to say node at what's it called? Server.js, right? Okay. And let's remove Fastify for now. Fastify. Cool. And then npm run dev. Cool. That did not work how I had intended. Server. Oh, that's because I have it in the wrong spot. This should not be in main. This should be in server. Okay. Let's try that again. Can I use import statement outside of a module? That makes sense. So I think for this, let's solve that by making this. Get rid of that. I think we can even get rid of the version because we're not going to be publishing it. Don't need keywords, authors, or license, or dangling commas. And let's say, I think we don't even need that. Let's say the type is not service, is module. Okay, so with that, our import statements should work. And we run that again, and cool. Listening at port 3000, reload, hello world. Very basic node server. Cool, cool, cool. Next thing that we want to do is, I guess we probably want to create some better dev experience so that when I change something like this, if I go back to the browser and reload, that's not being reflected. That's because I actually have to stop this script and run dev again, and then I can go to the browser and reload, which is kind of an annoying thing. So to fix that, we're going to say with that npm install a dev dependency called nodemon. And now in our package.json, let's wait for that to install. Weather app, cool. There's our dev dependency. Instead of node, change this to nodemon. Nodemon. And dev again. Cool. Now we see this stuff. It's watching all these paths and these extensions. Cool. So now if I reload the page, we get the same thing that we had. But if I change this just to a single exclamation point, I think, yeah, that should say it restarted due to changes without me having to touch anything. The browser still has this weird thing where it doesn't reload when I make changes. And that's probably something I'm going to want to figure out maybe another time. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now, I'm looking at a different project, and I'm going to copy over a tsconfig file that I like to drag around everywhere. I don't need that. I don't think I'm going to generate types. Don't know if I need that. Strict null checks. When type checking, take into account null and undefined. I don't know if I need that. Emit declarations, remove comments. Cool. I think that's might be all that I need for my needs. And now can't find module node HTTP. Right. That's because I'm inside of like lib. I don't think that's right. Do I need to add node? I want this to be, I want this to be next. Thank you. Okay. Does that fix my typing? No, it does not. Well, good old Google or DuckDuckGo or Brave Search. It's interesting that that didn't come up with something specific for Node HTTP. There you go. Ah, there you go. That's the problem, of course. I don't have the types definitions. Okay. Did that not save? Hmm. This is one of the most annoying things about modern development is all of the work that goes into uh, just tooling. So this is interesting that it tells me to do that because it actually should be save dev, in my opinion. Okay, so now with the types in place, go to our editor and there we go. Red squiggly is gone. HTTP. That should be import everything as HTTP. Yep, cool, cool, cool. Okay, so that's working. I think what I want to do is actually change this syntax. So my app is doing the request response, and then I'm creating a server around my app like that. Cool. Let's rename this to request, rename this to response, change these to response. Okay, we've got something working. Got to restart. Go to our project. Cool, project's working. Great. So now another thing that I want is I'm going to create a file called .env. And here is where I'm going to paste some secrets and I'm going to try not to let anyone see those. So let's turn that screen off. And what am I doing? I'm grabbing, right. I am grabbing some environment variables from OpenWeather API. All right, let's hope that I don't accidentally reveal some API keys in my server. So now that we've got this .env file here, I'm not going to click on it. We need to inject environment variables into our application. Now I could do that at this level with this script here and just like define my variables and then run my script. I don't want to do that. I'm going to use a very popular package called .env. And what .env does is it will inject all of the variables defined in .env into our environment here. So you're just going to have to trust me on that because I'm not going to show what my uh, secret value is. So now for .env to work, they like it to be the first thing that's run on the application. So import .env from .env and then call .env.config. And I think this is actually going to be import everything as that. So then that's going to run as the very first thing. I guess we could put it there, and that should be fine. And then what do we want to do next? We need to make some changes. Okay. We want to do a couple things. We want to call the weather API to get that information. We want to get our current location. So let's start with current location, I think. Let's see. Package that I'm going to bring in to get current location, because I could do it with like, there's not really a way to know the user's location just in Node from where they're coming from. You could do it from the you could maybe do it from the browser. But right now we're just building things on the server side. So since I don't know how to get my information from the server side, I could do an IP lookup, but for the time being, I am going to just fake it. I'm going to use a library called faker.js, and we're going to install that. Note that I am using the @faker.js/faker project. That is, as far as I'm aware, the more up-to-date version. There were some interesting things that happen with the project called just Faker, but we won't get into that right away. So now that we've got that, let's see what that looks like. Usage, yeah. Random email, cool. I think I want to build out. I think I want to get just like a random location. So what do we got? Address, cardinal direction. That's cool. City name. I think we'll go with the city. And we're going to go back here. And when our app loads, when the request comes in, we're just going to make a fake city. Right. So import it into a project, and then city equals Faker address city format. I don't think I need. Returns a string. Cool. Hello. World from city. That should reload automatically, the server. And cool. Now as we get going, we're getting all these different cities, which is great. Next thing I want to do is probably make this look a little bit less poopy. So let's start playing around with this HTML. This is going to be content type. What is it? Text HTML? I forget. Text HTML. Cool. Yeah, I got that right. I'm smart sometimes. Text HTML. Okay. And then I'm going to go to my GitHub, Austin Gill, utils. This is a project that I just keep around for copy paste utilities. I've got a boilerplate HTML document that I am going to copy and then go back to my project. And I'm going to paste in here. I'm going to take that hello world. I'm going to put it in the body as an H1. I'm not going to do a polyfill. I don't think I'm going to do client-side JavaScript. We've got the head, theme color. Nah, no manifest, none of this. We've got an icon here. Let's find an emoji for that. Emoji homepage. And let's do weather. I think sun with face, maybe. Or just the sun. Or sun behind small cloud. Ooh, I kind of like wind face. That's a pretty cool one. What's this? Partly sunny and sun behind large cloud. We're gonna go. Oh, I like this one. Sun behind rain cloud. That one's got a whole lot going on. So that's what we're going to use. That's going to be our little favicon. And then I've got a whole optimum performance order. Okay, that's just a little reminder of where everything should go. Viewport title. We're going to call this like fast friendly forecast. Like that comma. There you go. Fast friendly forecast. Triple F. This JavaScript thing we don't care about. Style sheets. I currently am not going to have. Open graph stuff. We can worry about that some other time. Canonical URL. I won't know. And yeah, style sheets we can get rid of. And even the description we're going to get rid of. Nice and lean. Cool. I like that. I like that. Inject that. We don't need this guy. And that's our HTML. Let's go back here. There we go. Hackett side. Sounds good. All right. Moving on. I want to grab something from another project of mine called Bedrocks. We're going to copy this and just get that into the page. Title, down there. Let's see what the app is looking like now. Oh, much better. North Nina. So Bedrocks is just a CSS reset that I use. It has some like, well, I guess we can take a look at it, right? Yeah, cool. Chrome or Brave. So yeah, it's got some like features for common defaults, focus states, typographies, forms. I think the best demo is to use this other project of mine that imports it. Style check, it's just a way to check all of this base HTML stuff um, to check some styles against just basic HTML. So yeah, it's designed to work well in all of these environments, and even to have some stuff for forms, read-only forms and disabled buttons. That's cool. I didn't even remember putting a little block on that, but that's pretty neat. Yeah, so that's Bedrocks in black and white, got theme dark mode support. All right, what do I want to do next? What I want to do next is actually probably get the weather information for this application. And look, I got my cloud up there. That's sweet. Okay. Camera's acting funky. Okay, so what we're going to do next is I need to make a fetch request. So I need this to be an async function that's going to make a request to um, the OpenWeather Map API, and then we're going to kind of inject that content in here. So to do that, once again, we can stop our server. We're going to install node fetch, which pretty soon we won't need to do because fetch finally landed in node, which is exciting. And then we'll say, cool, in our app, got Faker. I'm going to put it up here. Import node fetch from node fetch. Oh, I don't have my ESLint stuff set up. And then down here, we'll say if fetch is undefined, global fetch is undefined. Is that right? Forget if that's the right way to do it. This doesn't seem right. What's it telling me? Request is not assignable to type request info. Well, I guess we can see if it works. No, I don't think it's global fetch. I think it's just fetch. Assign fetch because it is a function. That's probably because this is saying that I'm in the DOM, which I am not. No. Well, let's see. I don't think it's actually going to be a thing. So let's see what this pulls up. If I go to my browser and I reload, page isn't working, and that's because fetch is not defined. Okay, so if we undo this, and that should have reloaded. And we reload the browser. We see that fetch is still not defined. Okay, maybe something changed. Or maybe I'm importing it incorrectly. Yeah, import fetch from node fetch. Yeah. Global this dot fetch. Okay. That's what I want. That's interesting. Also, headers, request, and response. That's the ticket. That's my little polyfill. Global this, not global. Got it. And then this can just be fetch. No, not fetch. Doesn't like that either. Still doesn't like that. Oh, duh. I am not. I'm not importing headers in request and response, so this should be good enough. Okay, enough boilerplate. You ought to work. Thank you. Fetch is now defined, which means I can make a fetch request. There you go. Async function fetch. Okay, so in our request, we're basically saying that we are generating a random city and the content type is HTML and we're returning this HTML document. And then we want to make a fetch request to get the weather for that city, right? Okay, so const get weather for city is going to take city. Oh, let me call it function get weather from city. It's going to be an async function. And let's see, let's give it some type definition. It's a string. And then it's going to be a string that returns a promise. Right now, the promise is void, but we need to hit that fetch request. So we're going to say our open weather API key equals that, although I called it something different because I know that I'm going to be deploying this to Akamai EdgeWorkers. I want to call it, prefix it with the PM user underscore. So I have to avoid the urge to log that out. So let's just assume that that exists. And then we'll have the city. And next we want to go to the OpenWeather API. So I think we can just get the current weather data. And so we're going to make an API request to API latitude and longitude. Can I just use the city? Woo! Okay, city name. Cool. That looks like I can use that. Fields and API response. No, that's the response. The parameters. I think I can pass in just the city. So let's see. I'm going to copy this. Oh, and I also need the app ID, which is my API key. let's go to our code. And we're going to return fetch our URL. Cool. I didn't even have to paste it. The city Q is our city. Is that right? Oh, yeah. Look at that. API call. Built-in API request by city name. Cool. And then I guess we're not going to return that, right? We want to say const response equals await the fetch request. And we can just, right now, we can just assume that the request is valid. And yeah, we can await the response.json, return that JSON. And so let's see if this is going to work okay. So weather equals get that. Let's print out what we get for the weather with a PRE. Yep. Boy, that GitHub Copilot is handy. All right, let's see. We got something. City not found. Okay, that's promising. That means we're getting the response from the OpenWeather API. City not found. City not found. Cool. Is that all we're going to get? Oh, there we go. We got Idaho Falls. And it looks like we have a whole bunch of stuff here. So I wonder if there's a. This is the thing about TypeScript developers. We just love our types. First thing I'm going to do is go and search for OpenWeather API node. Simple package makes it easy to work with OpenWeather API. That's cool. I don't want that though. I just want like type definitions. Downloads. Well, okay. What I'm just going to do is take this and copy it. So that we have something to work with. And I'm going to say, here we go. Oops, we'll create, no, that's fine. A type definition, which is an object that looks something like that. And it's going to be called Open Weather Map Response. Sure. What have we got? That's our object. We've got chord, which is this type. That's going to be a number. And then we've got lat, is also number. Are you just going to fill this out for me? No, you're not. Cool. Are you? Weather. Yeah, that's going to be an array of some things. Okay, number, string, cool. String, that's so great. Okay, so weather is not happy with this. Duplicate identifier weather. Yeah. Let's get rid of that. This is not exactly what I want. I'm going to say this is an array of this type of object. And we can Oops. No. We can do this. Do okay. Let's move on. Base is a string. Main is an object. Oh, so great. Feels like that's great. Yep. Not even paying any more attention. Cool. Good. Do that. Okay, that's looking good. Base and main is covered. Visibility. Wind, yes. Boy, this is cool. Clouds. Oops. Oh, it's a number. Close that. Okay, let's close that. Degrees, clouds, all almost done. I'm doing all this and I'm probably not even going to need to. Why am I doing this? I don't even know. Sunrise, sunset, cool. We're so close. We might as well finish. Time zone, ID, name, COD. That and cool. We've got our type of the open weather map response. Get weather for city is going to return a promise with that. It's either going to be that or it's going to be this 404 error, which I don't have to worry about for now. But now we know that weather is one of those. So we can start building a table. Don't need you. Emojis may come back to. ID, clear sky. I even have an icon. Weather condition codes with icons. Oh, look at that. Cool. We can do our icon codes. That's pretty cool. Day, night. Huh. Okay. Let's build this out. What is the weather looking like? We're gonna do. So let's check this out a couple more times because we may have an error, right? If we, okay, Miami, great. Bellflower, great. So it could be this as well. The response could be something that looks like this, which still has the code. And then the message. Is the message? No. So we're going to put that up here. Message is a string. Don't need you. And then all of these are not guaranteed. It's like, I don't know. We'll do it this way for now. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, and code is always going to be there. Put that there. Cool. Let us quick fix this. Just ignore that. That's fine. Looking good. Looking good. So we want to say down here. Weather dot code equals 200. If the weather code is 200, then we'll add some more HTML. Otherwise, yeah, we'll do that weather message. Why not? Or I think I like it the other way around. If it does not equal that, we'll send that message. Otherwise, we're going to do some HTML. And why don't we just do this then? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Look great, but that's okay. City not found, city not found, city not found, city not found, city not found. Folsom. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's not a great experience so far for the weather app that we're trying to build, but it's a good start. So I think we can leave it with this for today. We're almost up on time. But this was a cool little start on what did we cover today? We looked at injecting environment variables into our Node applications using the HTTP library to create a server, making fetch requests with Node, generating fake data. Covered a lot. We didn't do a whole lot, but we definitely covered a lot. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm going to come back tomorrow at 3:00. And if you're interested in coding along and getting this to look even better, we'll be doing that. So thanks a lot. Hope you liked it.